Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. We're going to take another look at here at Gala, help understand how much further down it could go, and kind of see if we have confirmation on potential long position, if that's an option for us or not, okay? So if you're new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade. I really hope you can learn something here today. Obviously, if you have learned something, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Great thing is, a lot of my community members have learned as well. If you take a look at this, yesterday, they took my advice 350% from a short position based on the CC video from yesterday. So thanks again and well done, Andrew, for jumping on that train, so to speak. Again, when I give advice on certain things, I love to see that you taking that advice, but also doing it yourself as well. I mean, look at this. No Idea has their very first trade. They shorted 20x on Gala. So good job, very well done. Don't be afraid to take some profits. Make sure you can do that, but on the same accord, also make sure that you are being careful and cautious as well, because there's no guarantees it would have pulled back, but it made absolute sense that it did. Okay. Obviously, if you've seen my videos yesterday and the day before, you'd know that it was on its way down just based on a three white soldiers pattern. Okay. So if you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is where you can register. Link down below. I have a trading community academy, and I send out signals as well for every single trade that I take. And we've taken some healthy profits recently, 43% from Bitcoin. That was in 2 days. We've got Solana 220% in 20 hours. So it definitely ranges, right? There's going to be times where you'll have to be patient and wait 16 days for 40%. Sometimes you'll get 220% in 20 hours. It's just kind of the way that it works. Crypto cannot be controlled. What you can control is your emotions and how to navigate that. Those are things I like to teach. Take a look here though as well. You will need ExpressVPN if you're considering using a leveraged exchange for the leverage, for example. So you get 3 months extra free here from Express, which is awesome. And then if you keep in mind too with Bitget, that is the exchange that we're all using, and we're having benefits there, significant benefits. We have a $10,000 prize pool monthly. They also have a USDT bonus for sign-on if you use the link down below. So make sure you use that to register so you can get those benefits, but you will need a VPN regardless, well, depending on your country. A lot of my US residents do need that. Okay, so here, let's talk about this here. I have my alert. My alert went off a couple of hours ago. I woke up to it this morning. We did hit 3.7 cents. 37 cents is in the distant future. For right now, 3.7 cents, we hit that, and we're effectively, I wouldn't say bouncing, but we're approaching the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. Okay, so as I mentioned yesterday, that is a key level for typically in Fibonacci, just nature, whatever, 0.618 occurs the most frequent. Therefore, we can expect that to potentially be a support level. I emphasize potential because just because I have this alert here and I believe it's going to work as a support doesn't mean it's going to. All right, there's no guarantees in that. We don't really have any historical data showing that is a price point of which we've had some point of contention, for example. So it's just a Fibonacci retracement level. That's all it is right now. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean you want to take a long position from there. Another reason why you don't want to consider taking a long position yet is based on this here as well. We take the RSI, it's coming back down to 70. There's occasions where it bounces off 70 and continues higher, but it's rare. It's less common. That occurs more so in bullish markets rather than bearish markets. And you got to keep in mind, Bitcoin's selling off a little bit today. Okay, where it's expected, we're wanting it to come down to about 17,000, but generally speaking, it's selling off a little bit. We got CPI data due for tomorrow. A lot of reasons why you may not want to consider holding your long position for Gala much longer, and or maybe not consider taking one right now. I'm not saying you need to short like my community has done, but you should consider alternative methods here and just wait for confirmation. Okay, because we can see the MACD is starting to lose its momentum. Obviously, it has to happen. It's one of those inevitabilities, of course. What goes up must come down. We had 3 strong green days in a row, followed by a 4th red candle. I emphasize 3 white soldiers a lot in my videos because it's one of the most consistent trading patterns you can find. And it especially is more successful and consistent in bearish markets because you can't sustain a price point like this for much longer. Regardless of how much fundamentals you have, there's a reason why it sells off, because greed is a very real thing. And those who are moving this market here, right, not people like you and I, they're the ones taking profits because the folks like you and I had got in at price points like this, and they're taking all that money. Okay, so again, there's a big picture, of course, but generally speaking, Gala looks like it's on its way down, and I don't think it's going to discontinue anytime soon. But once again, let's find out. Okay, so we look at RSI. We have a potential bounce off of 50 on the RSI, but we have MACD divergence. This is a pretty significant divergence after such a significant increase. The stronger the increase, the stronger the retracement, right? And in most cases, retracements occur down to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. Now we can draw out some new fibs here, honestly, and kind of see what that looks like. In fact, why don't we do that now? Just so we can kind of get better perspective on the most recent information and kind of just narrow it down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go from here to here. Again, most recent low to most recent high. We can do this now that this candlestick is closed, right? So again, when we take a look at that, we're below that Fibonacci retracement level of 0.382, and 0.5 is on the horizon. Commonly, the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level holds up as a decent support level in most cases when you have a significant increase like this. Okay, so I would anticipate right here at the price point of about 33 cents. I did it again, sorry, 3.3 cents. We're going to have some type of support. Okay, between now and then, I would estimate we might see somewhat of a free fall, but let's confirm that here and see, because we are significantly diverging on the MACD. We have 50 on the RSI as a potential support, but it's not a strong support. We've already passed through the 20-day simple moving average, and we got the 50. We're going to sway up here to that 2.9 cent mark. So generally speaking, we don't have a lot of support here, minus 50 on the RSI, and that's not a reason to hold on to a trade. Furthermore, TD sequential tells us we're at a 7. We have potential of at least 8 more hours of continuation of the downside before we see sideways action. So wouldn't it make sense if we see a couple more candles down here and the price averages out at 3.3? That seems more probable to me than it would be to hold the current price point. Again, I hope that we hold the price point that we're at right now for those who are in long positions, but on the same accord, that is kind of a hope and a prayer. So if we take a look, of course, previously, historically, I covered this already, but if you didn't see my recent videos, came up to a 9, sideways action, nice little short squeeze all the way up to another 8. The 8 comes up to Fibonacci retracement level and rejects right at the 5.1 mark, and we've been down ever since. So what's to stop this from going sideways then down again? Not a whole heck of a lot, because there's a tremendous amount of profits to be taken, right? This is a profitable coin in a not so profitable market, if you will, right? So you got to keep in mind, coins like this are going to get hit harder than others, in which they are, based on the simple fact that it's overextended. Down 12% on the day. Most everything else is only 4 to 5%. Okay. So again, just some little correlations, some things you can kind of connect the dots with, and just see that even though, yes, we're slightly overextended to the downside, we have a lot more room to run. Recent divergence in the MACD implies we should see further downside. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the hourly. And taking a look here, this is something to note, because previously, of course, we hit some 9s, overextended, came up, hit another, well, it was actually only a 7 and got a reset. So it didn't really overextend itself too much to the upside. It just wasn't a healthy continuation that I'd like to see, right? So that being said, if we look at this here, this is, believe it or not, this sounds crazy. This is a healthy continuation to the downside. I know it seems like weird, like, hey, how can a downtrend be healthy? Well, it's got all the tried and true factors, lower highs, lower lows. Until we break that trend line, we're not going to have any type of change in pace here, okay? So, and when I say trend line, I'm just talking about this guy here. Let's go ahead and pull him out to this level and kind of just pay attention to it, right? Kind of see what's going to happen, because we keep getting rejected with lower highs and lower lows. The only way to break a trend in this regard here is to establish higher lows first. Okay, so this guy has to establish a higher low somewhere else. Doesn't matter if we have higher highs. Those don't matter. Higher lows is most important. Okay, we want a higher low to break this trend, and right now it's not proving that it wants to do that at all. What it is proving is that it's staying very, very consistent. It comes down to a 9, comes down to another 9, and now we're down to a 7. So we've got about 2 more hours before the price tries to go sideways or up. You might be able to, buy the dip and get a really tight profit target in there, but I think it's still a bit of a stretch. I prefer to avoid coins like this when they're doing this. Honestly, I do. And bear in mind too, just because I set that alert and I got pinged on that alert doesn't mean I take entry blindly. You reevaluate every time to ensure that once you have, that new confirmation, you can reestablish your goals for that trade. Okay. So to me, yesterday, my goal was to take entry at this support level. Well, we've proven to have lost that support level, and it's likely to continue lower. So why take a long position right now? Okay. Again, stranger things can happen. This could shoot up tomorrow, and I'll eat my words. That's the way it works sometimes in crypto. But for the most part, based on history and the way that coins have a tendency of repeating the same behaviors consistently, I'm not surprised that we're seeing today as a red day. That was expected. I'm not surprised that we're diverging and the 1 hour and the 4 hour time frames are looking pretty poor. The daily also doesn't look fantastic, but on the same accord, it still has plenty of room to decrease. Okay. In other words, We're up over 70 on the RSI still. It would make a lot more sense for the price to come down to 50 and bounce. That could put us at a price point here, somewhere in the 3.3 range. Could even come all the way down to 2.9, and worst case scenario, 2.4. I don't think we're going to see all of that per se, but I do think that we're going to see a further continuation down. At the very least, 3.3 is a potential bouncing point. Because again, that's a 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. It's a common characteristic for it to bounce off that level, but we're not there yet. We got to be patient, right? Patience is key. That's the foundation. I hope that you can, try to improve on your patience. And if you want trading skills, those are all things that I teach in my trading academy. I have a risk tolerance and risk management chapter essentially that helps you focus on your emotions and make sure that you're not being an emotional trader. That's a big part of it. Trust me, it's taken me a long time to evolve and to get rid of that side of trading. And I tell you, consistency and successfulness are a lot more. They occur a lot more often now. Okay, so again, hopefully you learned something here today. Thanks again for joining me. You want to become a better trader again, cryptocash.tech. Look forward to working with you all, and congrats to all the current community members on just an amazing month so far. Well done. Keep up the great work. We'll see you in the next one.